Tell us about the death penalty in Illinois. When's the last time you did a death penalty story?
Back in 2011 would be my guess. I didn't actually check back, so who knows, because there's been a little bit of follow-up, but that's when Illinois did abolish the death penalty. Governor Pat Quinn signed that into law. It just barely got through the General Assembly, but and he spent a long time before he actually gave his signature, did a lot of research, and spoke with advocates and opponents, so really people on both sides, before he said what was his most difficult decision as Illinois' governor.
Yeah, I remember there was a time there where we didn't think Illinois would have the death penalty any longer, but there were still some high-profile capital cases being tried, and attorneys deciding whether to go ahead and proceed with the death penalty and things of that nature. So I do remember that time, but then he did eventually sign it. What?
And commuted all of the sentences of the individuals that were still on death row. So it was actually not since 1999 was the last time there was an execution in this state.
So why is that? What do you think caused the end of the death penalty in Illinois?
There's a whole lot there, and some of it precedes my time. That goes back to when George Ryan was governor, and there was a case of an individual who'd come within 48 hours. He'd had, his last meal, for example, and then ended up being clear. And that got a ton of attention. It was one of many high-profile cases, but that one, I think, was really the turning point. And at that point in time, George Ryan ended up commuting all of the sentences, put a freeze, moratorium on the death penalty. And so it was after that point in time that you saw commissions, studies, legislators looked at that. The moratorium really held for past Ryan's tenure. Blagojevich left it in place, and then it wasn't until, again, about a decade after it had been studied that Illinois actually went forward and passed that law. There wasn't one signature event that put anything over the cliff in terms of Illinois changing, but a well-funded lobbying effort, and it seems to have contributed to it. The State Bar Association, for example, took a vote to recommend Illinois doing away with it. It was less that it was immoral, more that it was seen, at least in the eyes of Governor Quinn, as an arbitrary system, and one that was, if not error-ridden, at least error-prone, and systematically so.
All right, Amanda, I'll have to leave it there.